Southall, West London is home to two brothers, Sandip and Jadip Bhattacharya. Sandip is 4 and Jadip is 18 months old. Both were born virtually blind, with the same very rare deformity of the cornea.
Kissy Jadip. Kiss to Papa. Kiss to Papa. Kiss to Papa.
The cornea is the front part of the eye that is normally clear, but in Sandip's and Jadip's case is severely clouded. Both are on the waiting list for a cornea transplant that could transform their lives. Ken Nishal is one of a handful of eye surgeons willing to perform cornea transplants on very young children.
Okay, that's one suture. I'll put it on here.
He believes if he can give them even partial vision, a child's life will be dramatically improved, and the earlier this happens, the better.
I'd love to have a crystal clear cornea, and that's what I aspire to, and that's what we're working on and trying to work out how we can make things better for these children. But my goal is to achieve functional vision. Even if the cornea rejects partially and you're left with a little window, children are amazing at adapting and using that to be able to get around and to develop.
It was a shock for his parents, Ranjit and Dilip, when Sandip was born with such poor sight, and an even greater blow when Jadip came along 2.5 years later with even worse problems.
In Sandip's case, there is one white patch on his eye, and the other eye is just hazy. But in Jadip's case, it was bad. It was really bad.
Jadip. Yes.
Although Jadip's problems were worse than his brother Sandip's, he was lucky in being quickly diagnosed and treated at Great Ormond Street.
Let me have a look and see what the cornea looks like. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Ken Nishal was able to perform a cornea transplant on one eye a year ago, when Jadip was just 6 months old. He and Jadip's parents are delighted with the results.
The cornea looks very good. So that's a nice, good red reflex. When I first saw Jadip, because he was bilaterally affected, it was crucial that we managed to do one eye as quickly as possible, and we did manage to do that.
After the graft, there was a tremendous change in him. He became a very active child. I never used to see a smile on Jadip before the graft, and after the graft, I'm seeing the smile every day until now. He's smiling every day. He's a very happy child.
The fact that his one eye was given clarity means that his brain has developed the ability, at least in that eye, to develop form vision. And I think you'll see, that especially with his glasses on, that he's able to pick up objects and point to things and engage with you really quite well. That's very good indeed.
Mr. Nishal wants to perform the same operation on Jadip's other eye.
We put him on the list for the other eye almost a year ago. But there is such a shortage of donor material of the right age that we're still waiting, as you know, to do the surgery.
At 4 years old, help has come very late for Sandip. He has some learning difficulties, but improved vision could give him extra stimulation and confidence.
Sandeep.
I seriously want him to get a graft.
I know.
Because it's too long, and then it's not easy actually for him.
I know. But you understand that it's a high-risk procedure, right?
Yes, doctor.
It's not a low-risk procedure. And by high-risk procedure, the worst-case scenario is he could lose the eye.
Yes.
Do you understand?
I understand, doctor, yes.
But I would agree with you that given the fact that both eyes are severely affected, that we ought to give him the opportunity. We ought to give him the chance.
Yes, doctor.
I think the benefits outweigh the risks, but the risks are great.
Ranjit desperately hopes the operation will give Sandip the chance to catch up with his younger brother.
It's not easy for him. So it's really worrying me what is going to happen when he grows up. How is he going to communicate? It's a very big world out there. I don't know how is he going to survive out. It's worrying me. even though he's just 4+ now, but it's seriously worrying me. But if Sandeep gets a graft, a new cornea, it might change his life.
With 2 boys both suffering from severe sight problems, life is tough for the Bhattacharya family.
Up, and away.
Sandeep and his younger brother Jaydip have been on the waiting list for replacement corneas for almost a year, but donor material is very rare. The corneas have to come from someone under the age of 18. They have to be ready to go into hospital at 24 hours' notice, and the call could come at any time.
You're in a very good mood today, Sandeep.
We are preparing ourselves before getting the graft. But the whole story here is we have been preparing almost how many months, 3 to 4 months non-stop. So they're still keeping our fingers crossed.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Sandeep and Jaydip need such intensive care that their parents are unable to look after both of them. Sandeep lives with his mum and dad.
Do you like it?
Jaydip lives around the corner with family friends Harbin and Kulwant Man.
Go in there then. You want to squash in there?
Yes, of course. The family would all like to be together. But the priority now is for individualized care for each child. And that is more important. So therefore, as parents, we have to make the sacrifice. Okay, I'll take care of him. Don't worry.
Okay, fine.
When Dilip gets home from his job as an engineer, he takes care of Sandeep, and Ranjit can visit her other son, Jaydip.
At the moment, the child doesn't fully express himself, and I'm the best person that he can confide in. And this is what he likes to do all the time: climb on my back. All right.
The Mans came into the Bhattacharya's life after a chance meeting on the street in Southall.
Is Uncle waiting for you?
Mrs. Mann was instantly drawn to Jaydip.
Who's a tired baby? I just couldn't keep away. I had to go back and see the baby again. I wouldn't pick him up at first. I was so scared that I'd either pull his tube out or, I'd hurt him in some way. But then one day, Ranjit just plonked him in my lap. Auntie, you hold him because Sandeep is running outside. So, and this little person's touching me everywhere. And, oh, God, it was lovely.
Mrs. Mann soon became a vital support for the family, eventually taking on Jaydip's care full-time.
Where you want to go now? Oh, look at that. Look, your mummy's here. Hi.
Hi, Auntie.
When I used to go and see her, she never had a minute to herself.
Hi, Jaydip.
She was either running after Sandeep or she was doing something with Jaydip.
We were on the verge of breakdown because there were lack of people around who could help us.
Ready, steady, go. Whoops.
I just felt that she needed somebody there. And I've always loved babies. And I thought this was meant to be,
There we are. Oh.
Both children have to have eye drops administered throughout the day.
You have to make sure that he uses dexamethasone, this drop. It's a very important drop. It's some sort of an antibiotic. This goes in the eye every day and we don't miss this drop.
Jaydip has digestive problems and has to be fed using a tube and a feeding machine to ensure he maintains weight in case he gets the transplant or needs emergency surgery.
That's his tube that goes through his nose to his stomach. That's the bag with the milk in it. We have to thread it through the machine and then through the pump here. And it takes about 3/4 of an hour for him to finish his milk at that rate. This is a 24-hour intensive caring for him all the time. And if we have to do anything, that takes a back seat. Okay, Ladika, give me a kiss, please. Thank you.
If I were to describe Mrs. Mann, I just have one word that I could describe her. It's really God-sent. God-sent.
You gonna say bye-bye to your mummy?
I'll see you tomorrow, Papa, okay?
Kiss your mama. Kiss your See you later.
Bye. It is difficult, but I feel it's my duty to make sure that my both kids get the same. I don't want Jaydeep to feel that I'm neglecting him.
We've sort of grown to accept that temporarily we need to live this sort of life.
I just hope that our life will change, and then Jaydeep will be with us, and then with Sandeep, and then both the brothers will be together.
The family's resources and their emotions have been pushed to the limit. All hopes of a normal family life rest on a donor being found and the transplants going ahead at Great Ormond Street. The waiting has been much longer for the Bhattacharya's, but now, after almost a year, 2 donated corneas that are suitable for Sandeep and Jaydeep have become available at the Bristol Eye Hospital. They're on their way to Great Ormond Street, and the family has been told to prepare for an operation tomorrow.
Oh goodness, it was a shock. It was a very big shock for us.
My first reaction is worry, a lot of worry.
At least my kids will be able to see. That's it. That's my only hope now. Nothing else. I'm not hoping anything. I just hope Sandeep will be able to see me. I'm so excited for him.
Though I'm very happy for them, but an operation is an operation. There's a lot of anxiety, and for parents it's very painful.
I just hope this become a successful operation for him. I just keep my fingers crossed.
Jaydeep's carer, Mrs. Mann, has taken him to the Sikh temple to pray for a successful operation.
Because they have special prayers in the morning after the service, I asked him to bless the children because they're going into the hospital to have their eye operation. And I mentioned their mum and dad's name. It's from my friends and my family to make sure that, God willing, their operations is fine and they recover quickly. So they mentioned all that in the prayers. And he loves it here. And everybody who sees him, that's it. They pray for him without being asked. It still hasn't sunk in until we go in and the actual thing is taking place. But it's like winning the lottery and, you've got something that you never thought you'd have. Oh, it's windy, Jaydeep.
Ooh, look at that teddy bear. Jaydeep!
At the hospital, Ken Nishal makes sure they are all fully prepared for tomorrow's surgery.
So, tomorrow we're going to do the transplant on the other eye. When you do a corneal transplant operation, there's a risk that you can lose the eye on the table. All right? That can happen because of a hemorrhage at the time of the operation. You can lose the lens at the time of the operation. And there's a risk that an infection can get into the eye, and you can lose the eye or the vision in the eye because of that. The cornea can reject at any time. Yeah? But the nice thing is that in Jaydeep's case, his right eye is the worst seeing eye, isn't it?
Yeah.
He sees better with the left eye since we did the graft.
Yeah.
So heaven forbid something should go wrong, he'll still developmentally have the advantage that he has at the moment. Okay?
Yes, Doctor.
So should we see Sandeep next?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Papa. Okay.
Sandeep bete, Akolo, open your eyes, Akolo. Good boy. Good boy. I think there's something you have to understand is that we're trying to give him a chance for vision.
Yes.
But I'm not expecting him to have vision as good as his brother. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand.
If we can give him a little bit more vision, even if it's just hand movements or counting fingers.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
All set. The operations will begin first thing in the morning.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The waiting for the Bhattacharya family is finally over. All is set for Sandip and Jaydip's cornea transplants.
I got no words today. I don't know what to say. It'll be scary. I'm very nervous, and we need prayers from everybody to make it very successful.
Jaydip is first into surgery.
Okay. We'll give me a little kiss and then we'll see in about 22 hours, I thought. Okay, thanks for your help, Mum.
It's very important to make sure that you give them the opportunity to be able to see out of both eyes, because you never know when one eye may pack up, either through rejection, either through a hemorrhage. All of these things can happen at any stage. So it's important to give the child the opportunity to have two seeing eyes. Right, let's go.
The cornea is the very front part of the eye. It covers the iris and pupil, refracts light and helps the eye to focus. In both Jaydip's and Sandip's cases, their corneas are cloudy. The operation will remove the cloudy cornea and replace it with a clear one from a donor.
Jaydip is in the hands of an expert. It is a complicated operation, and it's very hard for a parent to guess what is going to be the end. And until I hear that Jaydip is actually fine, I'm still worrying, you understand? Because it's a very big operation. For a very young child like this, it's a lot of worry.
I'm waiting for one child to come back, and the other hand is the other child is waiting to go. So, I don't know. It's very confusing.
Scissors, cut, please. Okay.
It takes over 2 hours for Mr. Nishal to remove 18-month-old Jaydip's clouded cornea and stitch the replacement into place.
All right. Good. Thank you very much, everyone. Hello. It's all gone very well. You all right? It's okay. It's all right. You're doing very well. You're doing very well. You're doing very well. So it's all gone very well indeed, okay? So let's have a look at Sandeep now, shall we? Good. Well done. So we're gonna call for this little one very shortly now. He's had some pre-med, has he?
Yeah.
You all right?
No worries, doctor.
I understand. All right. Well, we keep our fingers crossed. So far, it's all gone very well.
Thank you, doctor.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
Okay. All right. We'll see you very shortly. All right. They should be calling for him.
They're ready.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, sweetie.
This one's going to be the one that's going to be a bit taxing because it's a bigger eye. The tissues are thinner, so technically it's going to be more difficult to do.
Quite nervous actually.
Of course. Well, you just do your praying upstairs, and
Yeah.
Well, that will help.
For you.
please,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, you need to make a move now.
Yep.
All right. We'll look after it. Off you go. Can you get the wish print? And you want the probe anywhere near it because I'm about to operate on him, right?
One of Ken Nishal's innovative techniques is the use of ultrasound to check the structure and condition of the eye before operating.
And the lens is quite far away. That's what I wanted to see. So we have space, so that's good.
Meanwhile, Ranjit and Dilip are waiting for Jaydip to come out of the anaesthetic.
Until I actually see the children, then I might feel relief. But right now, very worried.
I think he might be more comfortable sitting in your lap than
Thank
sitting
you.
on the trolley.
Thank
So
you,
yeah, he's a bit cross with us all, I think. So why don't you come and see him? Yes, if you like.
Just put him right next to you. Okay, Baba. Do the. Sorry, why? Just a little bit cross.
Okay, Baba. Okay, Baba. Okay, Baba.
It's a relief to hear his voice again.
You could cry because we've not seen him for the last 4 hours, and it's like you're just wondering what's been happening to him in there. And emotionally, it's very, very draining. But now that we've seen him, it's like it's a big relief.
Okay, Baba.
Sandip's cloudy cornea has already been removed.
Just went a little bit deeper than the first one, but not to penetrate, right? That's off the cornea.
Mr. Nishal's been in surgery for a total of 6 hours by the time he finishes stitching Sandip's new cornea into place.
It's gone as well as I could have expected it to go. So we just see now, right? You've done the best you can, and I've done the best I can today. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Hello. Say thank you, Dr. G.
Hello. All right then. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Thanks
later.
a
They'll
lot.
call for you very
Thanks a lot.
shortly. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Actually excited now because the way the doctor explained to us. Yeah, ba? Yeah? Give me a hug. Oh, it was not easy. It was not easy actually.
Next day, both Sandip and Jadip are almost ready to go home. The stitches will be removed in 3 months' time when the corneas have grafted into place.
The thing is, it's not a movie. This child's going to have poor vision for the rest of his life. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to give him enough vision to go to an ordinary nursery so that he can functionally get around in unfamiliar surroundings. If he can count fingers with that eye, I think that would be a major success. I'm not trying to do anything more than that for him. If he does any more than that, that will be very special. Sandeep, he's recognizing that he's seeing something. His lens in the middle is cloudy, but it is clear around the edges. So there isn't light getting in that was not getting in previously. See that?
Yes, doctor.
So that's a good sign and it's a good start. But I want you to remember that there's a long way to go yet. All right? Lots of things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? But for the first day, this is very good. What was very interesting for me is to see his behaviour change.
Sandeep's just realised something that he's not had, that he's got something, and it's wonderful.
That is fascinating, to see that so rapidly the brain is trying to process new information that it just has not had from that aspect before.
He's able to see. He's able to see. He's just confused. Oh, goodness. He's shocked. It's a big shock. After 4 years. Okay, let's go.
He's certainly perceiving light. I wasn't convinced he was seeing anything more than that, to be honest, but for me that's a good start.
No rubbing, no rubbing. Oopsie daisy. Okay, okay.
The Bhattacharya's hoped their nightmares were over too. But now, 6 days after his cornea transplant, Ranjit and Mrs. Mann have rushed Jadip to Great Ormond Street. His eye has started bleeding.
And he's been bleeding a lot? We'll have a look, see what's happened. I'm sorry, darling. I mean, the stitches have definitely ruptured. At the moment, I'm not worried about the cornea. He's bled a lot. If it's coming from the inside, then that's not good news for the eye. I think at this stage, there's very little we can do except wait till he's asleep, take him up to theatre, and try and close these sutures. It looks like the part of the wound where the donor material has been attached to the host material has ruptured. To have a rupture like this is very rare. In 8 years, I've not had a child do this. Having seen the amount of blood, the concern is that really the contents of the eye has expulsed. And if that's the case, then the prognosis is pretty poor to try and save the eye. This highlights the fact that this is a high-risk procedure. You cannot, at this moment in time, afford to lose hope. And I will do my best, A, to save the eye, and B, to save the graft of JD. We've lost 5 sutures, looks like. You see his lens? Yeah, but look, his lens is intact. Well, he's a very, very lucky boy. I've been putting in about 6 sutures altogether. I've put 3 in, and then I've got 3 more to put in, and we're done, all right? Will you write down the important things? Lens intact, ultrasound done, no suprachoroidals, no retinal detachment, 5 ruptured sutures. Yeah, because, I mean, I have to admit, I thought the eye was lost. I mean, to me, it's nothing short of a miracle. That the inside of his eye is fine, and his lens is in place. So now the issue is can we save the graft?
The donated cornea still needs time to graft onto the eye, but Mr. Nishal can't wait to tell Ranjit the good news.
I mean, I think the important thing is the eyeball is saved. But we're still at the graft I don't know about. It's a heck of a lot of a better conversation than I thought there was going to be. You're looking up?
Yeah.
Where's Mum? Hello. I have very good news for you. The eyeball is safe. The contents of the eye are in the eye. Nothing came out. I don't know. Well, I don't know where the blood... I think what happened was that he's got a little bit of a coloured part of the eye, and that's where it's bled from. But I'm confident that the eyeball is okay because I did an ultrasound scan. The back of the eye looks completely fine. But I think the main thing is that he's got a chance now.
Oh, thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
I'm delighted. I am absolutely delighted. But we don't know yet how the graft will do. I have to put him on some steroids now.
Hanji.
All right? I think he's a very, very lucky boy.
Thank
All right, you take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Still got a long way to go, Auntie.
The things he does to people, that boy, I tell you. It's not just us he's got by the heartstrings, you know, it's everybody who sees him. And we've had so many good wishes from everybody. I think that's probably what saved his life.
It's 3 months since the Bhattacharya boys had their cornea transplants. Dilip's now working 6 days a week, and the family have been able to move into better accommodation. He and Ranjit are delighted with the improvements they've seen in 4-year-old Sandip.
Sandip had a very, very, very successful operation. We witnessed a miracle in the last 10 days after his cornea transplant, and that made us overjoyed.
Before his cornea graft, Sandeep was not able to focus that long. and he never want to spend time sitting down and work with an activity. The difference that I find out on him now is he's able to work at least 5 to 10 minutes. He does sit, and his concentration span is building up, and is able to follow instructions. Hey, Sandip.
The eye is still delicate and needs protecting most of the time, but Sandip can try out his new glasses.
Before this, he used to be very depressed, like there's something lacking in him. But he himself, he is a very happy person now. Hi, Jadip.
Jadip's still living nearby with Mr. and Mrs. Mann. He suffered no lasting damage from the bleeding in his eye shortly after the transplant.
1, 2, 3.
Jadip's learned to walk, and he too has a new pair of glasses.
Oh my God! What
Look,
is
Jadip,
that?
look.
Oh God, it's wonderful without the glass.
The eye's still healing, and he's still getting used to seeing through two eyes. But the extra vision is already making an impact on Jadip's ability to learn.
Because he can see, he can pick things up from other people. When other people are doing something, he's looking at them. But when he only had the one eye, it was very difficult for him, because he wasn't looking at the whole scene.
I think that for these two children in particular, the lessons are clear. Earlier intervention seems to have helped the younger child. I think when you see a family like this, you think about the dedication, the hardship, and the complete single-mindedness of the mother and the father to look after these two children, you begin to realise what parenthood's about. And I think that really it's a privilege to look after families like these.
I feel very happy. I feel very happy to see both of my kids. They made such a good progress, and I very much would like to say a very big thanks to Mr. Nishal, who really put a lot of effort to give vision to my children. So I'm very grateful to him.
No.